guys, this is Thick Teddy. I am here today bringing you a quick video tutorial about charting, how I do it, and a great beginner way to start if you don't want to buy a subscription to anything or if you're not quite sure how to do it off the bat. So I'm going to be showing you on stock charts, just stock charts, all one word into Google, and you'll come up with this website. And basically, it's not quite as advanced as if you want to use Thinkorswim. Weeble's pretty easy, but it's a little easier, a little more straightforward. And so I'm going to show you a few beginner things, kind of just get your mind rolling with it, kind of understand what's happening with the indicators, understand how to draw support, resistance, different kind of patterns that we've been seeing lately. And I'm going to use two stocks that I have been swing trading and that I called on my Twitter. So if you're from the Twitter, then you guys obviously have seen me talking about these, seen me post the charts. So I'm going to show you kind of how I came to those charts, how I identified that they were good calls and that they had certain resistances, certain supports. So let's get into it. First, I'm going to be talking about PLM, or Polymet Mining. So here's our chart, and first thing I do is I come down here to range, and I do predefined range so I can control it. I'll start off with a 1 year, and then I'm going to click update. So this is our 1 year chart, and so this red line here in the middle is the 200-day moving average. And the blue line is the 50-day moving average. All that means is it is the moving average for 200 days or 50 days, depending on the number. So the 200 days is a little longer term, so we can kind of see the average of the longer term of the past closing prices of the stock. And the 50 days is a little shorter term. So as you can see, as the stock fluctuates, the 50-day moving average moves a little bit more with it. The 200-day moving average doesn't quite move as much. And then down here we have the MACD. MACD is kind of just momentum. So if it's above here, it means that the stock has momentum going upwards. And if it's below, it seems that the stock is dropping. And it picks up momentum as it crosses above the middle threshold. And now we have RSI. RSI is to determine if it's overbought or oversold. So basically, if the stock has more people buying it than the chart deems it should, or if it has less people buying it and more people selling it than the chart deems it should. So 50 is our mid on that. Anything less than 50 is considered slightly oversold. Once you get to 30, it's extremely oversold. And once we get above 50, it's slightly overbought. And then once we get above 70, it is extremely overbought. And then down here, the last one that I like to put on, a personal favorite, is Bollinger Bands. So I can kind of show you what those are. Those are those green lines that just appeared. And kind of the way that I use them is when the Bollinger Bands are tightening, it kind of shows that the stock is consolidating. It's closing and opening and fluctuating at prices nearly the same day to day, or it is just less fluctuation. And what you can kind of take from that is as they tighten, you can kind of expect the stock to move upwards or downwards after they tighten for a little while. So as you can see right here where I'm circling with my cursor, the Bollinger Bands tightened into kind of a channel, and then we had a large move upwards. And right here, they kind of tightened, and then we had a large move downwards. Right here, they tightened, and then we popped above. Right here, they're tightening, and then we're starting kind of an uptrend here. They're really tight, and then uptrend. So that's just an overview of the indicators that I can use. They're easy for beginners. I'll go through a more detailed, a little more advanced video at a later date, but that's just the indicators for now. And then if we want to annotate it, so I can kind of show you how I do that. So basically what we're looking to do when we annotate these charts is we're basically looking for patterns, looking for bull flags, looking for squeezes, looking for that kind of stuff. So so off the bat, it's going to give you just a line. You can like determine if you want it red, green, blue. You can determine if you want it thicker, any of this kind of stuff. But so basically all you're going to do is you're going to kind of find where the stock has been bouncing off of, we can find one right here, and then one right here has where the stock has hit and then reversed upwards. So you kind of start on one of them, and then you can find the next one. You can drag your line to it. Sorry, my computer's slow. This program I'm running to record kind of makes it a little slower. And then you find the next support, and then when you see that they all line up, that's how you know you have a good trend line. And then there you go. That is your support that you've been riding on right now. And then if I want to do resistance, we have these kind of pop-ups. I kind of don't like to use those as much. I do sometimes, obviously, but I'm going to start right here because these were kind of, I think, news or PR related. So I don't really know if I consider those exact resistances as much as I do reversals of a trend. So you start up here, and then we find that we have one right here, so you can kind of hit it, and then there's also some right here. So I'm going to put them, yeah, I'll go right here, and then I'm going to put another one starting here, right here. And then as you can see, we're kind of actually at the moment breaking out of them. So you guys can kind of see how this works. So there's the bottom, which is the support as you're going up and it's squeezing. And then we have our resistance at the top. And we're actually getting like an uptrending channel right now in this short-term last 2 months here. So that's easy enough. Nothing really special, nothing really crazy about this kind of this annotating and charting, but it is what it is. So, and then I'll show you another time frame that I use quite a bit. I'm going to remove my annotations and then come down here. And I'll do 0 years, and we're going to do 4 months. You can kind of change your months up depending on just how much you want in it. But this one's good for like if you're looking for just kind of like a short term, like I'm thinking like within a week or so, I kind of want to see where the stock is going to go. So I'm going to pull the 4 month, 3 month, 5 month chart. Even 6 months is pretty good for that. So as you guys can see, we have from November until now, and I'm going to annotate it, kind of showing you what I'd be looking at. So annotating it, I'm looking, where are my supports? Where is it bouncing off of? And as you can see, there are a ton here. So right here to about here, they're all kind of bouncing off of the same trend line. So we can just drop that one off the bat. And then this is another one. You can put these in if you want. I like to just have the full chart annotated, but you don't have to put that second one in because this is more current. And then as of right now, what we've been looking at is there was this kind of a resistance, but then it slowly pushed up. So now we're kind of talking about this kind of resistance. And as I was saying earlier, it has broken out of that within the last few days. But this was the resistance. As you can see, it touched it 3 and then the 4th time. And then another thing to look at is the Bollinger Bands. We can kind of talk about that quickly. You see how it tightens right here, and then there was a move downwards, and then it tightens right here, and then there was a move upwards. It tightened right here, and then another move upwards. That's why I love Bollinger Bands. They just kind of show consolidation a little easier than you would have to find with your naked eye. It kind of just gives you it. Okay, so I'm going to remove... So that's all we're going to talk about for PLM, which PLM is a stock I love, by the way. I might make a YouTube video about the DD I have behind that because I think it's a great long-term hold. And then I'm going to kind of find a different AtF. That's the other one. I'm going to find it's a little different. It's a little more of it was a bio play compared to PLM, which is mining, and AtF was a much different chart than PLM. Or AtF is much different than PLM. We don't need the 1 year on this because as you can see, it was exactly at 10 for a long time because it was a merger. So we're just going to bring the chart down to, we're going to start with 8 months. See where that puts us. And we don't even need 8 months. We're going to do 6 months. All right, so the 6 month chart, off the bat, we can identify this kind of extreme fall right here, right at the beginning of November, all the way down to about $3, and then it downtrended more, popped up, downtrended more, popped up, downtrended more, popped up. So we can see that this is kind of a gap right here. There's small gaps here. There's less resistance in this for the uptrend, which, as you can see, happened recently, which was nice. We got it. We bought it at $3, and it went all the way to 7.5. But I'm going to identify what I saw in this chart when I called it on Twitter at $3 or whatever was it, maybe like 290, 275, something like that. So off the bat, you guys can see the Bollinger Bands are consolidating extremely, extremely tightly here. Early 2021, it was getting really, really tight. And there was also resistance that was very, very clear to me, which I'll annotate in a second. And then there's the gap at 4 to 5 right here, and then lesser resistance in this entire area. So let's get into the annotating. So first off, I'm just going to throw right here, this entire area has less resistance than this area down here. And then we can even add another one. Right here has even less resistance than this entire area. So this doesn't look like much, but 4 to 4.5, that's 50 cents. That's over 10%. That's a nice gain if you can catch that gap fill right there. And then this is just less resistance for the grind that we wanted to see. And then I'm going to put a line, blue, trend line. And then you can see it bounced off of this the first time, bounced off that the second time, bounced off that the third time. So right there is very, very clearly our resistance. And it was right around 3.5. I think it was like 3.6 if you go into exactly. And then we can talk about this right here, which was our support that we were trending upwards with. Higher lows is always a good thing to see on a chart, and we were getting higher lows. So they started off right above 2, and some of them dropped below 2 on the initial big drop, and then we bounced off of somewhere below 2.3, so 225 maybe, and then we bounced off 2.5. So it's slowly moving up. And when it bounced off that 2.5, that was when I realized, okay, ATF is probably going to reverse, and then we're going to test this resistance. And the fact that we've already tested it 2 other times, I'm thinking, wow, it's really, really possible that we do break it one of these times, considering that it was a $10 stock and valued at $10 back in November and October. So seeing the higher lows paired with the fact that it was pushing resistance 2 times and then another third after I called it was really, really nice. And then also just the trend that we had of this, where it's like channeled down, and then we got another one of it dang, almost messed that one up because my computer's being slow. Channeled down and then reversal, channel down, reversal. So I kind of thought we were going to see another reversal, and then when we did see the reversal, I was like, okay, time to pull the trigger around 3 or right below 3. And then as you can see, it's all history since then. We went all the way up to 7.5. Now it's on a dip down to 5, but we played it from 3 all the way to above 7. So that's kind of the 6-month chart and how I annotated it, how I looked at it, how I was like, okay. And also the RSI down here when we were looking at it right around 3 was right around 50. So I mean, nothing really going on there, not oversold, not overbought, right in the middle. Okay, and I don't have a short-term chart on this one just because the time I wanted to play it was all the way back here. So I showed you guys kind of when I liked it, but now I'm kind of thinking, okay, it needed this pullback, so I'm not really too interested in it anymore. But the fact that it broke that resistance, the fact that it had these downtrends, reversal, downtrend, reversal, and then finally when it broke 3.6 fully, we knew it was going to fill into this gap and then have less resistance up here until 7.5, which was where it hit, and then it came back down. So PLM and ATF, those were two charts that I thought would be really easy to show you guys, kind of how I chart, how I annotate, what I'm looking at. And like I said, I'll have a more advanced video coming out for like kind of a next step, where I find exact supports, exact resistances, short term, some candle patterns. But for now, stock charts is free. It's easy. It's kind of easy to just see what's going on, easy to put your indicators on, easy to annotate. So I hope you guys got something out of this video. I hope you guys can go annotate your own charts maybe. Try it out, see what you think, and I hope you guys understand Bollinger Bands a little bit more, moving averages, trend lines, that kind of stuff. So thank you guys so much for coming to watch my video, and I hope you guys have a great day and make tons of money this week.